A very good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's On the Sofa. We're very pleased to say that we've got Paul.Hunt on with us tonight, so he will be with us shortly. Just a few things. Well done to the ladies' team yesterday. They won their FA Cup game. So they are through to the first round, which will be on the 12th of November. I don't know where that's going to be played at the moment, so look out on socials for that. So also, Aldershot, it's been confirmed that we will play on the Saturday. So it'll be tickets aren't on sale yet. We haven't heard anything, so they will be communicated in due course of when they go on sale. But on sale are the Swindon Exeter tickets for the EFL Trophy. So they're on sale at the moment as well. Also, as we know, on Saturday was Charlie's 50th goal for the club. And the club wants to do a bit of a commemoration of it. So they're asking people to send in 5 to 10-second selfies just to say what your favourite Charlie goal is and why, what it means to you. So please, if you can, we'd like to sort of get a few 50 of them all together into a reel. If you want to let us know if you're going to do that, we'll send you the email to send it to. Okay. As we're on the note of goals and things, the 85-86 event, we are selling out fast. So please, if you do want to attend, it's 22nd of November, which is a Wednesday, please get tickets as soon as possible. They are available on the website or tomorrow evening from the Legends Lounge. £10 a ticket. We're releasing the names of who's confirmed over the last few days, and we'll do some over the next couple of weeks. We've already said Chris Ramsey, Lee Bernard, Paul Roberts, and the name, I can't think of the other one, but I'm sure Vic will tell me in a moment who I've missed. So we'll do some more over the next few days and weeks. But please, I do urge you, if you do want to come, do get in quickly because we haven't got many tickets left. And I think that's all from me. So I will get Vic on and he will correct me if I'm wrong. Hello, Vic.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, Brian Badger Wade is the other one that you can't remember.
It. Brian Wade. Yeah,
Brian Wade is the other one. Sherborne are at home too on the 12th of November in the Women's FA Cup. That was drawn today after their win at Liscard yesterday. So congratulations to them. Now, SAS Travel will be open from 6 o'clock tomorrow night at the County Ground. Of course, we've got a home game against Gillingham. There are the last few spaces for MK Dons on Saturday available. I think 4 coaches are running for that one. And also spaces available for Colchester on the 7th of November, which is a Tuesday. So if you want to go to either of those trips, tomorrow night at the County Ground, 6 o'clock, the SAS Travel window is behind the town end there. So go and see Mark, and I'm sure he can sort you out. And also on Friday, there is a talk at the Ellen Dune Centre in Rawton by Swindon Town historian Dick Mattick. His special guest is John Trollope, MBE, and I think Keith Morgan as well, one of the greats of the 1960s, talking about the history of Swindon Town Football Club. And there is nobody finer to talk about it than Dick Mattick. He knows everything there is about everything. And you can go and get tickets from Eventbrite. If you put in Swindon and Rawton, then you'll be able to get the tickets. And it starts at 7:30, 7 for 7:30, this coming Friday, October the 27th.
Brilliant. Fantastic. And I think we ought to actually say tomorrow night we've got a special guest at the game tomorrow. Ify Nora is joining us. He's going to join Vic on the pitch. And the club have very kindly made him a guest in the boardroom. So it'll be lovely to see him. And as Vic says, it'd be nice for him to actually say a good goodbye to us because he didn't have that chance when he was with us. So he'll be with us tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to that. It is a shame when managers go, don't they? And they don't have the chance to say goodbye. And as for Charlie Austin, it was my great pleasure to commentate on his first ever goal for the town up at Carlisle.
Really?
After about 3 minutes. So, and we thought, boy, this is going to be special. And it turned out to be quite good, really, with Charlie Austin. So that's a memory I'll always have with me. So, congratulations, Charlie Austin. Fabulous achievement.
I was looking at some of the goals they were putting on socials today with Charlie. My goodness, he looked young.
Yeah,
Very young when he started.
But we'll talk to Paul in a minute about finishing, because I've never seen a better natural finisher than Charlie Austin at Swindon. Incredible. And what can you say? Brilliant.
And Ian from Darlington's just actually reminded us we ought to say rest in peace to Bobby Charlton, who we lost at the weekend. So
I was looking through the records actually. I just read his autobiography of his time at Manchester United, and he only ever played once at Swindon. He played against Swindon twice when he was player manager of Preston.
Okay.
I was lucky to be at that game, and it was way back in the early 70s. So, of course, Man United and Swindon in those days didn't really mix in the same circles. So, the great Bobby Charlton. I mean, I think he's many people's first memory as a footballer, really, if you're a certain age. And as they say, if you dropped you in the middle of the Amazonian rainforest, 2 words of English they know is probably Bobby Charlton. So,
Charlton.
there you go.
Yeah. So, great loss.
Yes.
Right then. Shall we bring Oggy on?
I think so.
Let's have a hello. How are you?
Evening, guys.
You okay?
I'm all good, cheers. Thank you very much. All good, thank you.
Good. Fantastic. Okay, so if anybody has any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section. And as I say, every week we'll get through as many as we can. Okay, and I'll see you later.
Thanks, Chris. And already got a message from Terry. It says, Oggy, Oggy, Oggy. Simple as that, really. I'm going to ask you, I'll ask you, where's that come from? Where does that come from?
When I was a young boy, I would say about 5 years old, my mum and dad used to put a little lock on the fridge. And I used to go down the middle of the night and go nick all the food from the fridge and the larder. And so one night they was out and we had a babysitter. And he come in one night, and there's 4 boys in my family. And so what happened was, obviously, we gone to bed. I snuck down, went to the top of the larder, got all 4 Easter eggs down, and started eating them. And when he came up to me, he just called me a hog. And so the nickname stuck from hog, but it went to Oggy within about a year. So I've been called Oggy since about 6 years old.
And there I was thinking it must have something to do with Cornish pasties, but obviously not.
No. I've had a few of them in my time, but never been, no. But yeah, that's where the story come from. And and he's stuck ever since. Bless him. Thanks for that.
Absolutely fabulous. Well, anybody knows you as Oggy, so that's fair enough, isn't it? And it's affectionate as well, which is lovely too. You are a Swindonian, born in October 1970. Your birthday is just gone. So, I mean, what's your first memories of Swindon Town Football Club? Can you remember?
First memory, I would say my first memory was obviously I was apprentice at 16. I never really went to watch them many times. I would say that. Obviously, I can remember obviously when I first joined, John Trollope come around my house at 12 years old to do schoolboy forms. And I think my first ever game I watched after that would have been something like Aldershot at home or something like that. Didn't Aldershot beat us once 7-0? You know that, did they beat us once 7-0?
No, Swindon won 7-0 in the FA Cup.
Was it 1-7-0? Oh, yeah. So, and I can just remember that being one of my first games watching that going up. So, but yeah, I could remember like the likes of obviously John Trollope and Don Rogers, but never being a massive fan until really obviously John came around and signed me when I was 12 years old. To be fair, come around my house.
Yeah. Well, you spent a dear old time with the club, and we'll get to that in a minute. Already the comments are coming in. Gary Parker says, "All right, Oggy, hope you're well." Kevin Rose says, "That documentary, we all remember that Channel 4 documentary." We'll get to that in a minute.
One that was,
it was incredible. Pete Lango, of course, who you'll remember from youth team days. Good old Pete. Asked Oggy, one of my good old mates, who was the longest in the shower. I heard that Fitzroy was.
Oh, Lordy Lord. I'm going away to Benidorm in 2 weeks' time with Pete Lango. We call him Shaggy. And cheers for that, Pete. I don't think he's far wrong, Vic. Put it that way. Right?
Fair enough. So I think it's because he had long blonde hair like the person in
And
Oh,
bless
God.
him, he ain't like
Yeah.
myself. He still kept his hair, shaggy, and like he's good friends with Fitzy as well. And but yeah, I have to say Fitzy on that one. To be fair, Fitzy wouldn't mind me like give him a bit of credit.
Fair enough. Scooby Doo. That's what I was trying to think of. I don't know why.
Yeah. Very true.
Tracy Chatfield. Hi to you, Tracy. Hi, Oggy. Long time no see. Hope you're well. Do you remember giving me your Wiltshire Premier Shield medal back in 1991? I still have it on display as a prized possession. Hope Buzzer is okay. Obviously, Buzzer, Nicky Summerby. You're all part of that wonderful youth team, weren't you? Really, there were great characters there at the time.
Well, they were. I mean, you think we had the likes of me, obviously Buzzer, Summerby, Richard Morgan, Tony Amsley, and we had some nice. So obviously the year above me was Nice Packer, 85 Ash, and the year above them was Pete Lango, Nicky Hughes, and below obviously Dean Cassidy, Phil Bell, and we had like a great youth team set up from the first year to the second year, and some really really good players, and as had a great 2 years there, Vic, doing the Old Apprentice. It certainly brings you, it teaches you like how to be respectful of football. I don't think the players nowadays have got it. I'm on about in terms of like cleaning boots. We had to clean showers, baths, paint stadium. We had to do all jobs there before training and even after training. Make sure like all the boots were done before training. We used to have four players to each apprentice. So I'm when people say to me now, what do you think's gone wrong in the game? I think that's one of them straight away, where these young lads don't do that. I think it's a great upbringing for you. It gets you closer to the first team from an early age. And if the boots ain't right and the first team player who you got comes in and tells you they ain't right, and it gives you like a great upbringing to play football. And sadly, that's gone in my eyes.
I always remember hanging around the corridors as a reporter, and you were all waiting to go into the changing rooms to clean them out, weren't you? And all that kind of stuff after games. And
yeah,
I mean, I, as you say, I guess that makes you respect the game, doesn't it? You know what it takes to get there.
Yeah, it does. And like, because obviously you're waiting and you're waiting to get in, and we've done both ends, so we had to do the away end as well. And obviously sometimes you get a big team come and see Swindon, and like you'll be like, I want to go to the away end because they've got a certain big player you want to go and see. And then but also sometimes when the game's finishing and you can get in the early doors and they're still getting change and they're chucking your socks and the players are, and you get that like the atmosphere in there, and you get a little bit not used to it, but you want it, and you think, you know what, this is what I want to be doing, and so like it gives you that burning ambition to, you know what, to say this is what I want to do in my life. I want to make sure I train harder and harder. I want to be part of this first team, and but also I want to be able to do what these first team players are doing to us young lads. And I mean, I was lucky. I mean, my boots I used to clean. I had Aussie Adidas, I had Tim Parkin, Dave Ockaday. Phil King keeps telling me I've done these, but I never done these. Yeah, and I had some big players. It was Roy Wegley come down, and so I had some big players to clean boots for, and like so, but also the boot wing was a good learning curve for a young lad, and you all get in there, and sometimes you turn the lights off and you chuck your boots, and me and Mad Dog and Buzzer would be chucking boots at each other, and Fitzy and Adi and Nice Packer, and it was like I say, it brought you up to be like a footballer, and it was good. Special times in big rooms, and I think sadly because they're gone now, I don't think these young players get that. I really don't.
And obviously, you've remained friends with a great deal of them, because Adi Vivash, of course, another local boy. That seems to me one of the secrets of that group. A lot of them were local, weren't they?
They were. You think like I come from posh part of Swindon, part south, and I was a council estate boy, and and I love my upbringing. I come from there. I played from 5 years old with my best mate Neil Quinn, who, in my eyes, Vic, you don't know him, but he should have been with me from day one, and but sadly he wasn't. But me, Quinny, Vivash come from Woodbassett, Fitzy come from Melksham, Richard Morgan come from Old Town, I know Tony Hammersley come from not far. So there's a lot of players, and Dean Castley from Elding, Pete Lango from Elding. So there's a lot of players that were obviously local, and like I say, to all them days now, I still talk to them and get on really well with all of them, to be fair, and still keep in contact with them.
Yeah, it used to be a really good atmosphere amongst you all. I mean, do people actually realise how difficult a road it is? Because I think, we go out every weekend. We were up at Salford on Saturday. You watch the game. You criticise sometimes because you moan and all that kind of stuff. But to get to that level, to be a professional footballer, that's a long road, isn't it?
It is. And people don't realise. I mean, I think it was 1 out of 1,000 kids make it as a pro, and that's without even making a pro career. So, I mean, like, obviously, I grew up with them players, and the first year, obviously, when we got taken on, there was only 2 players got taken on that year. Was me and Nicky Sumby, and so you're going from like there being 14, 16 of you in that team to only 2 of you get taken on, and it's hard to get there. And so when like if I'm watching a game, when I go watch some live games and I hear like someone saying, oh, and the fans obviously talk to their own opinion, they go, oh, he's rubbish, he's no good. There's no bad pro footballers. It's just obviously everyone has their own opinions. But to even get there and make 1 appearance in a pro game, you've done well. And it's a lot of sacrifice. You got to do a lot in terms of like, I think it's worse now, to be honest, where you got these academies at 5, 6 years old. At least I had the enjoyment of still spending time with my mates, and I didn't leave them really until I was 16. So to do it now, I think it's even harder because they're taking your kids from a young age, like I say, 6 years old, put them in the academy, and they're telling them they can't play with their mates. I think that's hard. And I think that's where we're going a little bit wrong as well, because by the time they come to 16 or 14, 15, they've been on these academies a lot of time, and then suddenly they want to go back playing with their mates because they haven't been taken on, and their mates are going, well, look, you didn't want to know us when you were 6 years old to 7, 8, or 9, 10. So yeah, it's an hard road, and I applaud anyone who even makes 1 appearance, let alone making 500 or 600. Vic, yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. I know there's a lot of thought about aftercare now, about when players are told that they're no longer wanted. You mentioned there were only 2 of you taken on, but then that means, of course, a lot of your mates weren't taken on, and I'm sure you must have talked to them about it at the time. That's a tough gig, isn't it? When their dreams are sort of somehow taken away from them.
Yeah, it is, and your dreams are taken away from you. Because like I say, you spent all your like childhood and to think yourself, you know what you want to do. And to us, the Holy Grail was a campground because it's your home pitch and you want to run out there. And I was lucky enough to do it, I don't know, 20 odd times, whether it be in the first team, but 300 or 400 times in the combination league. And and I got to do that in front of my own crowd, and thank God, like I did do it, and it was a privilege, and special. So it's now to this day, and like I go out there and people are talking to me about obviously times what we're going to mention now, but a lot of my friends didn't get there, and but do you know what? That it's one of them. It's how you conduct yourself. I think, Vic, if you're not a big time Charlie about it, and you still hang on to your friends and you keep yourself level headed, you're going to be okay. And I have done that. I've, like I say, I still keep contact with all my boys now, and like I say, they're all special to me, and we have a little bit of a giggle, and you know what I mean? Because like I say, I only done 20 games, Vic, so I didn't really kick on as well as I should have done. So but like I say, I was privileged to play there 20 odd times in the first team, which is more than many.
Well, many of us would have liked to have done it once. So even just for 10 minutes, do you know what I mean? To win that shirt. When you do get that step up then, and you are taken on, how different is that? Because you're used to cleaning boots, cleaning out the baths, doing all that stuff. Does that immediately stop? How does that work?
Yeah, it does. I mean, you get designated like a boot boy from one of the apprentices, and they come along, and then suddenly, like you've gone from being from that changing room, and then you're suddenly like, okay, you're a first year pro. You go join all the first team players, and so I can remember obviously like me and Buzzer getting signed on, and it's funny, Vic. Can I tell you a story about how me and Buzzer got signed on?
Yeah, do.
Yeah. So you got to remember, like from 12 years old, obviously I had the great John Trollope. He come to me house, signed me on the schoolboy forms at 12 years old with obviously Terry Willen, and then at the youth team with him, and then getting signed on, and obviously Lou signed us on. So me and obviously Buzzer being told, like, come in, you've got to speak to the gaffer Lou about your contracts. We knew we were getting taken on, so we're running around the county ground pitch, just me and Buzz, and as we're doing it, I said to Buzzer, you got to remember, we used to do a 5 mile run on a Thursday night. Lou Mackay was all about running, fitness, mad, and you hardly ever see a ball. Now I was a ball player, Buzz was a ball player. We were no good at running, and even Phil King, Brian Wade used to beat us. And so we're running around the pitch, and Buzzer said to me, he went, "Og, I don't want to sign a 2-year deal." I said, "Why is that?" He went, "I don't want to just keep running. I said, "Good shout." I said, "I don't want to sign 2 year either." I said, "I'll tell you what we'll do. We go in there and we say, look, I want a 1 year deal, Lou. I want 150 quid a week, and we'll just leave it at that." He went, "Good." I said, "You do all the talking." He went, "Okay." So with that, Lou come out the tunnel with his dog. "You two in." So we come running in. Sit down. So we sit down, and he goes, "Right. When I was up in Celtic, the great Jock Steen, he said, I was on like £15, £12 a week. He said, your first year, you're going to be on £85 a week. Your second year, you're going to be £100 a week. Get out of the office." We both went, "Okay, Lou, bye-bye." And on the way out, we've gone down the corridor. I said to him, "I thought I didn't want to sign 2 year." He went, "No," he said, "I didn't." I said, "What happened?" He went, "I shit myself." I said, "So did I." He went, and that was it. And she's got a 2 year deal. And but that's the respect that Lou had, yeah. And obviously one of the greatest managers Swindon's had. But yeah, and but obviously like done our 2 year, obviously got a 2 year, and then joined the people like say Brian Wade, Phil King, Dave Hockaday, Bamber, John Gittins, McLaughlin, Foley, Cornwall. You know what I mean? You can name them. There were some great characters in that team, and like obviously in Lou's team, you know what I mean? And I can remember even like Chris Ramsey playing with him, and so yeah, and it was a great experience, Vic. It was like, and you just basically gone from the youth team to the first team. You just basically like just got to up your game to another level to even get to there. But yeah, it was a special moment when we got there.
I was going to say, I had a feeling you were going to say something like that when you were going to march into Lou's office and say, "I want 150 quid a week."
Yeah.
I could have imagined the reception. I would have loved you to have asked that question and see what happened.
You know what? I really wanted to, and because you think like, let's look at Pep today, right? So let's go like Pep to compared to Lou Curry. Like I said, we never really got the balls out, but Lou used to say, if you're not fit enough, if I gave you the ball in the last 10 minutes, you can't do the skill to get past the player. But the way that we won that 4th division and the 3rd division, it was so true. You know what I mean? If you wasn't fit, you couldn't do the skills. And he got everyone fit, and it was terrifying to look at, even though he's only a little fella. It was like he just ruled by it, and we just got scared, Vic, and we just chuckled. Now I still speak to Buzz, and we still like have a bit of a giggle over it. Yeah.
Well, it's a fabulous story. Lots of things coming in. Ross says, "What's your favourite lager?"
Moretti.
Right, fair enough. We're going to get onto your pub days later.
Yep.
Anthony, hello, Anthony. Who was your favourite player on your posters on your kitchen cabinet doors back in Rose Street?
Oh, who's that from?
Anthony White.
Oh, wow. You know what? I knew some of these questions were coming out. There wasn't many football people in my house at Rose Street, to be fair, Vic. I can't disclose that, Vic, so we'll just have a little giggle on that one, mate.
Oh, okay. We've got an image in our head, so we'll leave it there.
Yeah,
fair enough. Sean Platt says, "Hi, Oggy. Long time no see. Think last time was at Supermarine. Hope all is well."
Yeah.
Paul.Hunt, any relation?
My boy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hi, Og. A question for Og. Favourite goal and why, please?
Do you know what, Vic? If my boy set that right, which I never scored for the first team, you know that. And but he, I reckon I must have got close to, I don't know, 200 in the reserve game combination. The amount of games I played there, it would have been. So, so I wouldn't say obviously I didn't score there, but for me, goals, no. Game, it's got to be the first one, my debut, my full debut against Oxford, where like I set up Chalky with 2, set up the other one for the late great Almac. So yeah, it was that game was special, mate. And if Chalky wasn't so greedy, then I might have got a few more. To be honest, I might have scored now and again.
Yeah, I mean, you know what that game means to every Swindon fan, don't you? I mean, to actually play in it, what's it like?
Well, I can remember. Do you remember, like Vic? I remember debut against Barnsley.
Because you came on for Ross McLaren, didn't you?
Come on, Ross McLaren, drinking jeans, and he. So I come on for him, and I can just remember Ozzy going, "Go on there, go and get the winner." And I had a chance 5 minutes out, and just half volley, and I hit over the bar. I think he's still going over the town in now, to be honest. And so in the so he come in and changed. He had a little giggle, but he gave me a little bit of stick for missing it. But I can remember being on. I can't remember, was it? I think it was a Wednesday afternoon. We come in and Ozzy said, "Look, you're playing," and I'm thinking, wow. I knew it was going to be full house as well, like Oxford always was. And we had big crowds then. I think 16,500, 17,000. And for a local boy like me, I know the history between Swindon and Oxford. And so when he tells you that, you're thinking, okay. But when you're a young lad, I think I was 17 and a half, maybe 18. Do you know what? Wasn't so much nerves. It was just, I just lived off the excitement, the moment, obviously walking out, and just lived off the adrenaline. And I can remember setting up the third one for Chalky. Obviously, I remember the first one, someone laid it into me. I laid it off to Almac, bang, 1-0. Remember the second goal coming in. And then the third one, I've gone down the wing, skipped the centre half, just gone. And I could have had a shot myself, really. I should have done. But Chalky was left next to me. He open goal, and I passed it to him. I can always remember 5 minutes from the end, the gaffer pulling me off, and Colin Calder ran over to me. He's giving me a little tap on the head saying, "Tremendous debut." So I don't think they get any better than that, Vic, really, on a debut, apart from scoring.
Yeah, I think most Swindon fans would want to do that. In their, if there was one team they'd want to play well against, it would be them. I think there's no question about that. Oh gosh, lots of comments coming in, and I'm a bit concerned about whether I should ask you. But Gary says, tell the story about Gaza. Because you made your debut in September 1989, didn't you, with the aforementioned replacing Ross McLaren? I mean, come on, that's not a bad player to come on for, is it? Wow,
I'll tell you what, okay, so when obviously, let's go to the time when Lou's team now. So you've got Lou's team, you've got, like say, you've got your Calderwoods, you've got your Gittins, McLaughlin, Foley, and Tom Jones, Mark Jones, Phil King, Paul Bowden, Dave Ockaday, Bamber. And then we move on to Aussie team. And obviously when he went, and then you got you like Ross McLaren, Colin Calder again, obviously Bowden, Kerslake. I think Gitto was still there for a little bit. Then Nesta Lorenzo, midfielder, obviously like Ross McLaren. Doing disservice, not naming everyone in the team, to be fair. Buzzer, Summerby. And yeah, the players you had to even get past, to be fair, to even get into the team was immense. And so even if you got into a squad, which was hard enough, you had to then get into 11. And you know what I mean? It was an amazing team. We had, like, and that's before we even get to the Oddle era as well, kicking on a little bit further. And Lingy, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, like I said, to have Ross McLaren there for me to come on for him, and then, like I say, yeah, it's just, like I say, I can name so many, Vic, and you go, oh my God, how good of a player was he? And yeah, special time, Vic.
Yeah, I was going to say, you played under 3 managers, I think, at Swindon, didn't you? Lou McCarry, Ozzy Ardiles, Glenn Hoddle. Not bad, is it? I mean,
well, and you get like I played under John as well in the youth team.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And there won't be, and I played under Andy Rowland in the
Mm.
reserves for many, like say, hundreds of games. There won't be many players that say, you know what I mean, I play with all 5 of them. And so, again, I count myself very lucky that I had the pleasure of like playing with all them. And so, yeah, it was, like I say, for me to do that and, like I say, to do that, but also not to kick on was a bit of a kick in the teeth, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that, but you did it. I mean, many
Yeah.
of us couldn't say we got anywhere near it. Anyway, the Gaza story. What was that?
Oh no, there's another one. Like we went to, you got to remember the combination league, which is another one as well, Vic, where these players don't play. If you're not in the squad now, and obviously the combination league's gone now, isn't it? So
Yeah,
obviously I
sadly.
know up north they play their what do you call it, like their league up there, and they play a couple of games now down here, but it's not like it was then. Like if you didn't get in the first team in the combination league, you go play Tottenham or Arsenal, you're playing likes of like Tony Adams or Martin Keown and like Rocastle. Like these players were trying to get back in the team. Mersons for Arsenal, and they put all their players that weren't playing the first team the weekend during the week. So I can remember going up once for Swindon. We played Tottenham at White Hart Lane, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not quite sure, I have to make sure. I can remember playing, and Sol Campbell was centre half for Tottenham. I'm sure he was marking me, and we beat them 4-1, Vic. I scored a great little header in the first half, to glanced it, and as we're coming off at half time, someone's in the dugout eating some crisps and went, "Great goal, son." I can't do the Geordie accent. I just give one a bit of a swat. I went, "Yeah, cheers, mate." And I've looked up, and it's just Gazza eating a packet of crisps. And I thought, fair play. And but we played really well that day, and like I say, we beat them 4-1. And I'm sure Sol Campbell was playing against me centre half. Vinny Samways played. So you had like all them sort of players that normally play first team, and it was a great education for a young lad to play in that. And sadly, that's gone, which I don't think.
Yeah, I actually have mourned the passing of the football combination, because as a fan, you could go along on a Tuesday night and Swindon Reserves were playing, like you say, Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham, all these people, and you'd see some top players, wouldn't you? Either coming back from injury, or they were trying to get back into the team. And there's this gap now between youth football and senior football, which doesn't seem to have a bridge, does it?
Yeah, and that's why I think it takes longer. Like you don't see so many 17-year-old, 18-year-olds, unless they're special, like a Foden or a Palmer who's just gone to Chelsea, or like, unless they're really, really special, you get the gap between like the 17, they're not really making their pro debut again until like 21, 22, because they're playing this, like, I call it tippy tappy stuff in this academy they do, and the under 23s, they go to the real world of football and they're getting a smash the first minute and they can't handle it. And especially the lower you go, like Division 2, Division 1, and you go to the conference, it's hard, and it takes you a bit of time. But that combination, like so I think my first game was, I think it must be 16 and a half. I was still like in the youth team, and I was playing in there quite regularly. I mean, I can remember scoring my first goal for the combination league that year was when we played at Luton. Remember the plastic pitch?
Yeah, I do.
And I can remember having it, and I was the penalty taker for Swindon in the youth team, and I'm playing up top with Chalky. Chalky come back from injury. We got a penalty. Chalky won't give it to me. I went, "No, Chalks, I'll take him. You won't give it to me." And I stood my ground, thankfully, and scored. We beat him 2-0. So, but I don't, like I say, and they don't get this no more. So, which is a sad loss, really.
Gary says, "What's the best chant you've heard while playing from a female fan?" Now, I'm not sure if I should go on with this, because it is only, let me see, 7:30 at night. So
to be fair, I don't know whether I can sing it out loud to you, for her, Vic. It was like,
no, okay, fair enough.
It's like you can't sing that out loud. Cheers,
all right.
Cheers for that, Gary. Anyway, thanks for that, mate.
Bert says, "Hi, Ike, is it true you like to eat peanuts at halftime?"
I used to like a little bit of energy there, to be fair, Vic, and but I was always a cup of tea man. To be honest, mate, we used to have the old, obviously the urns, the big ones, and I used to love a hot cup of tea. Obviously nowadays you don't get that anymore. I've been in some charity games. I've been there, and I'm amazed at what goes on now in the changing rooms, and certainly no more peanuts or hot cup of tea, put it that way.
It's nothing quite like a cup of tea, is it? After you've done a long run or something like that, it is a refreshing thing, isn't it? I mean,
I can remember, and you'll remember this, Vic, and there's another time playing combination game, and remember Nestor Lorenzo?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? An absolute animal beast of a man in training and playing. And I can remember him coming in, and I got a cup of tea, and he's given me a cup of tea with 4 sugars in. He said, just get a bit of energy back into you. And and so, like I say, you don't see it no more. And but yeah, I still love a cup of tea.
Well, I have to say, of the many daft questions I've ever asked anybody, he was the one I asked the daftest one to, because I said, how much of an influence is Ozzy Ardiles for you to sign for Swindon?
Yeah.
It's like he had a picture of, I don't know, Chalky on his bedroom wall in Buenos Aires. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he played in a World Cup final, for goodness sake. There he was playing for Swindon. Incredible.
You think like in the so when he came over, obviously like he came over and play with us, and he lived obviously in Swindon, but he didn't really have not many friends. And I can remember taking him once over to Oasis 5-a-side pitch, and all my old St. Joe's schoolboy mates, I used to play with them like once a week. And you wouldn't be able to get away with it now, Vic, because with too many cameras around, people wouldn't let you get to do it. But I can remember, and I said to the lads, look, whatever you do, just don't kick him. And but to be fair, he was an animal. He was kicking them all over the park, and pure like I say, Argentina player. He came up to me after and went, look, can I do that every week? And this is a World Cup winner. Can you imagine that happening now somewhere, like people like just be on the phones, and that's the problem. See, you got like you won't be able to do it because it'd be too many people taking pictures of it.
He was quite a gentleman, I seem to remember, actually.
Lovely, absolutely, lovely fella. But on the pitch, Vic, honestly, mate, absolute animal.
James David says, hi Oggy, great memories playing over Buckhurst Park back in the day with you, Hall Quinney, Steve Foley, Neil Quinney, and Jimmy Quinn.
Yes.
So there you are, more memories coming in. I mean, you have got some, a lot of people, we haven't even touched on non-league days, which are extraordinary, which we'll get onto in a minute. But there is a moment, unfortunately, of course, when you are released by the town. It's, they got promotion to the Premier League. What was that like?
Do you know what, Vic? It obviously it hurt. It was hard, but obviously I knew. Obviously, we knew before going to Wembley. I knew I was getting released because Glenn's already told me, and he told a few of us. Me, Sean Close, very good friend of mine, Closey. So I knew I was going, but but to be fair, Vic, I didn't help myself. Like I was never in the right frame of mind. You know what I mean? What was I? I was at Swindon like from apprentice 16, left at 22 years old. So like 7 years. I went through some times where I can discuss with it, but it was like I never ever give myself the opportunity to be able to kick on. So when I actually when he told me them words, right, I'm going to get released, I'm going to leave my hometown, obviously and it did hurt. And like I could tell you a funny story before I go a little bit deeper. So on the night before Wembley, it was me, 85, Sean Close. We all obviously know we ain't playing. So we're just in the bar, in our room, just reminiscing, going over things. Obviously played the game. We're obviously 3-0 up. Get back to 3 each, and obviously thinking about our bonuses going down the hill, and obviously then fair play to Bowden comes up, scores a winner. So on the way home, we all get to sing a song, and everyone sing a song, and everyone looked at me, but everyone knew I was going, and Oggy gives a song. So I sang Please Release Me, and I can remember Glenn Oddle being at the front of the coach, just looking like that, give a look around like that, as if to give me old Superman eyes, to say like, really? And but yeah, and we had a bit of a giggle about that one, and but obviously that was my last time at Swindon, and so obviously tremendous place. If you're going to get released there, but one step away from the Premiership. Sure.
I can imagine so. Now, I'm looking at your non-league career. I mean, there are a lot of clubs involved. Supermarine, we've already mentioned, but I've got to say, Forest Green Rovers. I mean, your time there was extraordinary, wasn't it? And I've got a question here from Anthony. He says the goal at Kidderminster away for Forest. He says Gump Rovers, Forest Gump Rovers. Now this is Forest Green Rovers weren't the Forest Green Rovers of now. This is a non-league team making its way up the league. You got back-to-back promotion, I think, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I think you are regarded as pretty much a legend there. It was a pretty good time for you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Two FA Trophy finals at Wembley. Well, one at Wembley, one at Villa Park.
Villa Park, yeah.
So tell us about Forest Green Rovers.
Well, so Forest Green Rovers. So, like, obviously, when I left Swindon, I went to a couple of trials. I went to Brian, Norway, and I had trials at Bristol Rovers, Charlton. And so obviously something should have happened, but obviously it didn't. And so I went to a place called Andover, and I'm sure the late Cecil Green, bless him, like he knew someone down there. The chairman then was chairman co-manager Ken Cullen Brown, a horse trainer, and he was managing there. So Cecil sent me down there. So I want to play the game down there, and then obviously like manager was Frank Gregan as well. So I had 2 years at Andover. Was unbelievable. Scored something like, I don't know, I did 30 goals in 2 years. It was unbelievable there for him. And so Frank left to go somewhere else, and then he obviously took over at Forest Green. I went to Andover, had a couple of spells somewhere else, went to Cirencester, and then Frank come and got me from Ciren, and that's when like my love affair with Forest Green started, to be fair, in 1997. About 1997. But that.
And what were they like at that time? Because as you know now, obviously they are a League Two team, struggling as it is.
Yeah.
But what was it like? I mean, Dale Vince presumably wasn't on the picture or anything like that, was he?
No. We had. I got to say this, like the best chairman I ever played for, the late Trevor Worsley, unbelievable chairman and supporter man. He was brilliant. So we was in the, I don't know what even Southern Division 2. I don't know what, can't remember what division it was, Vic. Yeah. Like step 7 possibly. I don't know what we'd be nowadays. And so it was basically like training Tuesday, Thursday, play Saturday. And it was going to places like Waterlooville, like down Hammond Waterlooville at the time when they were down there as well. Like, and so yeah, it was that standard. It was, and I can remember going there, being at Ciren before Christmas. Could hardly score a goal. Fair play, Ray Baverstock. You know Ray. And he said to me, even now to the day, he has a go at me. I was on about 8 goals in that league at the time before I went to Forest Green just before Christmas. I ended up getting the golden boot, scoring 24 goals, and then obviously getting promoted, and then going up to obviously another league and winning that one where we beat obviously Merthyr Tydfil. But it was like, do you know, like it makes me laugh when I hear managers and players and they complain about how many games they play. They're playing too many games and they're playing 4.5 hours a week. You know what I mean? We used to go training straight from work Tuesday, training straight from work Thursday. Some of the boys are coming straight from work on a Saturday, come and play, and like it's full on, and you don't hear anyone complaining at all. And then sometimes you're playing at the end of the season, you're playing 4 or 5 games, and so. But it's a typical non-league, and Forest Green were a club that wasn't, like I say, not really going anywhere. But they pulled a masterstroke in the manager getting in there, Frank Gregan, and Frank just got players left, right, and centre with not necessarily like league experience, but he was the best manager player I ever played for, Frank Gregan. He was unbelievable.
And this was at the old lawn as opposed to the new lawn.
The old lawn, the old lawn, and the players he brought in, honestly, Vic, mate, whether it be like they were league players or just like water carriers, he built such a great atmosphere, and you know what I mean, it was immense time. It was a great time for me to go there. It's my best time ever in football. You know what I mean, regardless of like what I had at Swindon, where I was a bit of a part player at Swindon. At Forest Green, I was one of the main men, and it was a great time there, and also met my lovely wife there, and so And yeah, it was special times under Frank and one of my greatest mates as well, Chris Smith, Smudger. And great times, mate. Really good.
Well, Sean says, mad how certain things change. I always remember when you used to get myself, Suzanne and Becky, etc., VIP at Forest Green Rovers. Do you still have contact with Jason Drysdale? He used to get us comp tickets as well. Wouldn't step foot there these days unless we play there, of course. I mean, times have certainly changed. I mean, some people say it's a local derby. It hasn't quite got that history yet, has it?
No, not yet. No, and it hasn't really. No, not at all. And but to even mention Swindon Town and Forest Green in the same breath, you know what I mean? It's amazing, really, Vic. You know what I mean? I would never thought of me going there like that many years ago that there would have been in Division 1, let alone Division 2. You know what I mean? It was always a dream of Trevor Horsley and Frank. But we laid the path for them to get there, to be honest, mate. We really did. And like I say, Frank Gregan brought along likes of Jason Drysdale and Milky. What a character he was. Bless him. Unbelievable, wonder of a left foot. Great character. And but like I say, the players you think we had there, we had, like I say, Drysdale. We had Dennis Bailey, the old QPR boy. We had Tony Daly. We had Dave Norton. We had Nigel Spinks. You know what I mean? And it was like Tom Jones come from Swindon in the end. And this was before we was even in the obviously football league. This is all like even in the conference. So yeah, it was like it's a special club. It really is.
Pete Lango sent a very nice message. He says, "Well done, Oggy. Proud of you, buddy." And I do remember those times very well. You were a special bunch of lads, actually, because you always very kindly spoke to an idiot reporter when I was in the corridor, and I was always grateful for that because I just thought you all were very level-headed and you just worked hard, and I'll always appreciate that because you're sticking around waiting for the first teamers to come out and finish training and brush their hair and all that kind of stuff. So
that's much fun now.
Yeah, it's nice to chat to say that to you because I always appreciated it. This is from Ian Barron. He said, he's a Darlington fan. He always asks this question, but it's a nice question to ask. Did you play at Feetham's? Because I know under Aussie's sort of playing the League Cup up there, but were you part of the squad in those times?
Where's that next side?
Feetham's, Darlington.
Darlington. Do you know what? No, never played at Darlington. No. Yeah. And obviously, no. Obviously, no, I'm just trying to think because obviously if I wasn't in the first team and we went travelling, the combination league was always like the likes of Norwich or Arsenal, Tottenham. So we never ventured that far up there, mate. No, can't say I didn't. No.
I read an interview with Charlie Griffin in the dear old Wilson Gloss Standard because he put you as a player coach there, didn't he? And he said Paul is mad about football. Are you still mad about football?
Do you know what, Vic? I am, because obviously when I got collared in the car park, and I said, "What night are you going to do it on?" She went, "On Monday night." And I still play Monday nights. So I got all my boys. Hopefully be listening, and I said to them, "Look, I can't play. I've got to come on and do the old live show." And had a little giggle. But so I still play, and I still try and play 2 games on the night, 45 minutes 5-a-side. I play, as you know, like obviously the last time I spoke to you. I played in that charity games for Paul Caddis, and I try and play every little charity game, or if I see a bunch of kids playing that in the street, Vic, I look at them and I always say, chuck the ball over, boys, and I can't give it up. I've got a plastic knee on my right one, I've got the left one's going, and it's something that I was born with in terms of just waking up with my football, my first pair of boots, decent ones were Kenny Dalglish, and then like I say, me and my bestie Quinny, we would go over to any field, any garage, any signposts, and we would literally be out there 9-10 hours a day. And then my mum would just whistle, and we come in and have our dinner, and we do exactly the same again next day. And I think that's the way you play football, when you're playing your Wallies, you're playing your 1-in, and you're playing against the signposts. And sadly, you don't really see it nowadays. And but obviously there's a lot more going on, a lot more that these kids can do. But yeah, as in giving the game up, Vic, no chance.
Excellent, glad to hear it. Something from Ollie here about a mermaid, etc. Again, I'm not going to ask that question. I'll leave it to him to ask you.
No.
Is that okay?
No, it's like Jimmy Rollo, who used to be assistant manager at Bath City. Jim Roller was with me at Forest Green as well. Just another one of the players that Frank pulled in. And I was always known for a bit of like trickery skills, as I did, to be fair, Vic. And I was quick, but also had good skill. And I was always at Forest Green. I was always known for nutmegging people. And he'd come out one day. He went, "You're the only person I know who can nutmeg a mermaid."
Fair enough.
And he's stuck there since. So bless him. Yeah.
Yeah, I do worry sometimes. I think these questions.
I know, yeah, but read them out, Vic. I'll tell you if they're a little bit naughty, I'll tell you straight away, and I can tell you sent them, by the way, as well. Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, okay. I got lots. I mean, so many non-league clubs you actually play for. I remember you played for Fairford for a while, didn't you, as well?
Yeah.
With Adi Vivash and Charlie Griffiths, who we mentioned at Siren. I mean, of all the clubs that you've played, apart from Forest Green in non-league, Andover obviously very special to you. You know, which ones would you say really were the ones that you most enjoyed yourself, apart from Forest Green, obviously?
I mean, obviously, like I say, apart from Forest Green, I mean, Forest Green, like I say, it's got a lot of histories. Where I met my wife, where I am today, and which is a special. Where would I say? I mean, you got to remember, I played at obviously a lot of clubs, Vic. I also played at Merthyr Tydfil, our rivals at the time. I played there with Leroy Rosenia, who great manager. I loved him, great character. Said it how it was. You know what I mean? It's like he wanted you to run through a brick wall for him, and if you did that for him, it was enough. But he was good. I loved him. Special time. Obviously, I live in Highworth now, Vic. I had a great time with Johnny Fish at Highworth. He was good. He was a great manager as well. I loved him as well because black and white. You know what I mean? He was simple. Just pass it to him, and he was a good manager to work for. I enjoyed my time there. Like I say, Merthyr, Andover. Just trying to think. I didn't really stay many places. To be fair, I was always in there either like 5 or 6 months, and then I move and I go somewhere else. Like I was at Merthyr Tydfil. I went to Aberystwyth with Frank. I went to Western-super-Mare with Frank. And then I had a couple of little spells somewhere else. But yeah, I was selling clubs I mentioned there would have been up there, Vic. Like I said, I didn't want to come towards after leaving Forest Green. It was like more or less being at a club for about a year and less and going. So didn't really have like I said, Merthyr was very good because I got really well with the fans there, and they were brilliant to me as well. So I would say after a few of them, Merthyr Tydfil really, and Highworth really good, mate.
Fair enough. Ian says, brilliant to listen to Oggie's story, and he's a friend for life. This is Ian Howell. And by the far, one of the best players I've seen coached or played alongside, which is a lovely tribute as well. Tracy again, I've got a great photo of Oggie and Ben Shepherd playing in a charity game at the county ground. Oggie looked knackered before the match started. Used to love meeting up before and after matches.
She was a great girl. I love Tracy. And but you know what, Vic, this is what this is me coming from my upbringing, and there was no airs of grace. It didn't matter whether I was a footballer or I was at this first time, big time Charlie. I always try to give a little bit back. I always make sure that if there's people outside there, and I always found it an absolute privilege if someone come up to me and said, "Look, can I have your autograph?" I always thought myself, wow, you know what I mean? Of course you can. No matter how many I do, I love to do it. But I always spent a little bit of time afterwards and to share especially if I scored, like my excitement with the fans afterwards, or even before the game, to have a chat. And because it takes 5 minutes at your time just to say hello, and afterwards just appreciate, because us football players, we got it bad playing 3 or 4 times a week. These supporters, when they go travelling, mate, and they go straight from work, and I've seen you sometimes when you do your travelling all the way down from where you are there, and you got to go up north, and it's a 10-12 hour journey for you. And exactly the same for these fans, and they're paying a lot of money. And for me, it's just the appreciation that you should give back. And if they're on outside, just a little a picture or an autograph, anything at all, it goes a long way. And like I say, hence why I would go with Merthyr. I used to I scored a goal, I'd jump in with the fans, and I always used to stay in afterwards in Merthyr Tydfil and have a drink with the fans. And it's something I've always done. Hence why I've always got a good relationship everywhere I go. And I think I've always given a little bit back, which is just nice. I don't think it's no harm me doing it, and it's come back to
that's a lovely way of looking at things. Of course, then you got into the pub trade. You were at the Wheat Chief, I think, in Stratton to begin with, and then well, the Swindon Player Pub, I think it's fair to say, the Plough, isn't it? I mean, Roger Smart had it, and then Andy Rowland had it, and then you had it. How was the pub? It's hard work. I mean, I've been in the pub trade in the past. It's not a doddle, is it? It's hard work.
No. And I got to blame my very good friend of mine, Phil King, and he. I can remember basically more or less coming out of the game and just not knowing what to do. And obviously, when Kingy does the old sportsman dinner, who's unbelievable, by the way, when he does it, superb. He said to me, look, you want to think about trying to come in the pub trade. He said, because you know everyone in Swindon, obviously being born and bred. He said, have a think about it. I went, Kingy, no chance. I can't do that. I said, I like being on this side too much. I like having a beer. And he said, well, think about it. And I can remember, and I thought, you know what, possibly I could do this. And so I can remember talking to Arkles, and obviously that's where Kingy's with. And he went, there's a pub coming up the week she's in Ermey Street, Stratton. Go and have a little look. And I can remember me and the wife just bowling down there. Got a little pint, just sat in the corner, and I just said to her, I said, you know what, I could do this. I've got a little vibe about this. I can, and everyone's coming in going, all right, Oggy, how are you? And I thought, you know what, yeah. And she went, bless her, like she's supported me all my life. Whatever I've done, she's always been behind me, bless her. And she went, look, do you want to give it a go? Give it a go. And within the lady Paula, great man lady, she was coming towards the end of her tenancy, and within 3 months, Vic, of me going, yeah, I could do this. I was in and serving. Bear in mind, I've never served a pint in my whole life. Serving a pint on a Tuesday afternoon, and in the week sheet.
Did you get the punt? All right. Did you get that sort of short pole to get the head on it first? Did you
get
that?
I did, because if I didn't, I had plenty of boys telling me that's no good, and that beer's no good, and that Guinness is too big. But I had a lot of support, to be fair. Like I say, I had Pete Neal, great landlord. Like I say, Kingy, Alan Rossiter, very good mate of mine. And if I ever needed to pick the phone up, which he was brilliant, by the way, superb. Bones down the ground, my local. So I had a lot of help, and Arkles were brilliant as well. They really looked after me. But we had 2 great years there, and it was a sad day when I went, but I had to get out of it, because sometimes it gets overpowering, it gets too much, and people don't realise that it takes over your life 24/7. And at the time, it was either the pub or the wife, and I chose the wife.
Well done. I'll ask you what you're doing in a minute. If that makes any sense. John Osmond says, a totally grounded Oggy always took time to stop and chat and remember where he came from, which is I think that's one of the nicest comments that anybody can make, really, because it just goes what sort of person you are, which is great. Craig Gurney says, now Craig is a fan, right? Mm-hmm. He lives in Scotland. Wow. And he travels down to watch the town at home games.
What, every game?
Yeah, most of them. He leaves about 2 a.m. Can you believe that? I think I got it bad.
that is absolutely, that's amazing. I think, you know what I mean? That's when you know what, Vic, when I hear these Premiership players, and they're going they're playing 3 games a week and they're complaining about it. You're playing 90 minutes on a Saturday, 90 minutes on a Tuesday, 90 minutes on Saturday again. Come on, you've got someone who's traveling down 12 hours. Yeah. Sometimes I manage just to get here. Got to get back, and I bet he's at work next day 4 hours later. So,
well, he's a great chap. He says, I still can't unsee Oggy in his underwear in that documentary.
Do you know what? I've still got the pants, mate. I tell you.
Well done. Excellent.
Yeah.
Great to hear his memories tonight, though, he says. So there you are. What are you doing now?
Well, like I say, I come out of the pub trade. I've done that. I sold the plough on my 50th birthday, which was 3 years ago, 2 weeks ago. And it took me 2 kids to Dubai to celebrate with the wife. And then my cousin used to come in my booze all the time, and he's got his own roofing firm. So I do 2 or 3 days a week. That he might argue I might only do 1, but I live on a golf course. So I do 3 days a week, and then maybe, yes, I'm doing that, but I'm always looking, Vic. I'm always looking to find out something, what I can do. But you know what I mean? It's hard for someone like myself, because like I say, in my head, I've only ever known one thing, and that's football. And also, like I say, running a pub and telling people about obviously football stories, but also looking after people and in the right way and treating them in the right way. So so yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. But we're looking to just sell this house now and looking to buy another house with the wife and her mum and dad, so they can move in with us. So yeah, what will I do, Vic? I don't know. Like I say, one of my best mates in the world, Eddie Vivash. I keep obviously he's at Coventry now. I went and watched him on my birthday at Norwich, and we had a night out. And I keep saying to her, look, you need to get a job in America, because as soon as he does, I'll be over there with him, and we can look after each other. And so come on, big man, sort yourself out. Sort yourself out and look after our dog.
Well, you mentioned AD. I mean, he was on this a few weeks ago, and again, I knew him when he was very, very young. And the first time I ever interviewed him was in Terry Woolen's Off License.
Oh well, yeah,
with Andy Woolen, you might remember. And
yeah.
You know, he's done so well. I mean, to be, you know, where he is at Coventry and all that kind of stuff. So what a great chap he is. And again, like you, very, very down to earth. No graces, nothing like that about him. Very, very down to earth. Gary says, what's the best club car you've had? I'm going for the Fiat Weekender.
Yeah.
Is there a story there or not?
There is, Vic, to be fair. He it's quite a good story as well. Obviously, when I was at Andover, this is what, Vic, to be fair. I can remember being in the car with Richie Morgan and his mate as well, Billy Fish. And so we used to all go down together. And Ken Cunningham, the chairman, said, look, I've got a club car. So I went to his house and rolled up, and there's a Porsche there, Vic. There's a Vauxhall Cavalier SRI. I'm thinking, yeah, come on, boys. I'll get come on, old dogs at the big time here. And suddenly, like you seen, like, I don't know, like you got the old the mist coming out of this barn. Out comes a Fiat Weekender, and my jaw just hit the floor, and I'm thinking, that can't be my club car. And the boys are just crying in the back. And but yeah, so it had like about 6 doors, I think, Vic. And well, have you ever seen a Fiat Weekender? Well, if you haven't seen it, guys, have a little Google of it. And but we had, like I say, we had a year and a half of me taking all the boys from Swindon up to there, and obviously Gary, who's put the thing through, many a night out in Swindon. So yeah, the Fiat Weekender was a great car, Vic.
Excellent. Terry's asked a question I was going to finally ask you, actually. Have you ever thought about going back into coaching? I mean, you've got this football drug, haven't you, like many of us have? But have you thought about going back into the game, if you know, in a coaching capacity, or even still a playing capacity, for goodness sake?
Do you know what, Vic? I think I would love to. You know what I mean? The big man always told me, said, look, I'm wasted. But like I mean, I should still be in the game, to be fair, Vic, with contacts. You know what I mean? Axwell, who's at Swindon now, is a very good mate of mine. I remember playing against him at Penhill with him and Dave Toomey and them lights, and been amazing what he's done, by the way, come from where he has, or he had done a massive full cycle. And so fair play, that's well done, kid. So I mean, I should be, to be fair, Vic, and I've done my B license and that, but I'll be honest, Vic, like I say, I'm going to go a little bit, I don't want to go a little bit mental health here, or a bit emotional, but I've had some troubled times in my life. You know what I mean? People won't know this. So, but I was a compulsive gambler. I went to Tony Adams Sporting Chance 3 times. Been there 3 times. So, and when I said to you about my Swindon days, my career, I lost my first house when I was at Swindon gambling. Lost my car gambling. So, and when you got all them sort of things on your mind, it was hard enough to try and play professional football, let them do it when you spent all your money gambling, you're losing your house and you're doing this. So it was no wonder I didn't really have a career, because I was never fully, like, my mind was always over in certain different places. And so like it's where I should have kicked on in my football career and like carrying on doing my coaching as well with it. I've always had this mental health, which is obviously a lot better nowadays, because it was nothing in the day when I was playing. You know what I mean? I can remember going to see someone at Swindon saying, look, I need help here. I've got nothing, literally absolutely no help at all. So I think I've missed out on it, and like the coaching now for me to do it, I think I've gone past that now, Vic, to be fair. So it's just like I got no regrets. Like obviously got some regrets, but yeah, I think I'm more pleased with myself with like trying to sort myself out through my mental issues and in
Yeah,
that way
sure.
in coaching.
That's the most important thing, isn't it? And you know, you mentioned the gambling. Obviously, it's not the best environment football, is it? You know, you finish training early, I guess. You know, and then the problems start, all that kind of thing. And footballers notoriously get into gambling. And well, bless you for doing your best to get out of it. So,
well, yeah, and like see the bloke who's at obviously Newcastle now, Vic. You got to remember, like when I was doing it, and obviously still like doing it, there was no cameras about, there's no phones and nothing like that. It was like literally, and we'd be finishing training and having a car school on a Thursday, having a beer session on a Thursday night as well, and it was rife. It was everywhere, and like I say, and when Tony Adams came up with Sporting Chance, it was brilliant, mate. And so I think like it was. I think it would be if I had, like say, I'm not saying for me because there's like 1 in 1,000 people like me that like that could have kicked on in their career and it should have gone further. But I do believe if I'd have had to help them back then, like they got now, where it's literally you pick the phone up and everyone you can go anywhere and the club can help you. I'd have made a lot more of myself in my career. But hey, look, like I say, I'm not the first. Like I say, I've got a lovely wife, I've got 2 great kids, grandchild now, and like I'm all healthy, Vic, which is the main thing.
absolutely. You've got a lot of comments coming in now. It's really nice ones. Trevor Byron Jones says the fact that you went 3 times shows you didn't give up. Well done, you. Craig says thanks for your honesty, Oggy. Like Christian Roberts' book. I don't know if you've ever read that. Many people would be inspired to read about your resilience. Take care. And well done, Oggy. Top lad from Mark Jeffries. I mean, Christian Roberts' book is arguably one of the most incredible books I've ever read, really. And we did a night with him at the County Ground at the Legends Lounge. He's a very honest person about what he went through, isn't he?
Yeah, and I can remember playing against him, Vic, and I can remember, like, people won't know this, but obviously part of his book is where it's like, I mean, James West, who's a psychiatrist there, amazing man, and who looked after all these football players, Gaza, and like he was such a great character, this James West. And I can remember about reading about his book, and he said he once he said he was in the playground. And he said he had to ring James West up. He said, James went, you okay? He went, I'm all right. He went, like, he said, I just want to ring you and say thank you. He went, because my 2 kids are playing on a roundabout in the middle of a park. And he said, I'm in the moment with them for the first time in my life. And when he told us that, James West, I thought, wow, you know what I mean? And it was like, so yeah. And it's like when you hear things like that and you hear the messages, so I appreciate the messages because, you know what I mean? It's a bad illness to have. I mean, people don't realize with alcohol you can't drink it 24/7. Drugs you can't do 24/7. Gambling you can't do it, and you don't know if somebody's doing it. That's the worst part about it. But I appreciate all the messages. They can, like I say, to go 3 times, show you don't give up, and it's like I say, whether I still do it now, it's like that's the main thing is just never giving up, and like I say, I'm more open now. I don't mind what it taught me, Vic, being in there, Sporting Chance. It taught me to be open. It taught me to talk, which is the main thing for me. And I talk to anyone, and I share my stories. I've got some dark stories there, but I share them, so which is good.
More coming in. This is from Phil Shepherd. Brilliant listening to Oggy tonight. Top man. John says, great honesty and fantastic example for all men to talk about this horrible disease. Because it is. And well done, mate, says Sean. I think you got a lot of support out there. And a lot of love as well, if I might say.
Yeah.
And it seems to me, of all the comments that I've read, when we have a guest on, sometimes you get the odd comment, but none of them are nasty about you. They're always nice about you, which I think says a lot for you. So
I think there's a few out there that want to say something, but obviously too rude or word.
Take them all on board, mate.
I'll hold my hand up. Do you know when people you can say like that? I got a lot of enemies. I can honestly say I don't think I have. I can count on 2 or 3 fingers, mate. Because like I say, all my life, my man always told me, said, look, just treat people how you want to be treated, and a bit of respect. And I try to do that, and I brought my kids up like it, and they're exactly the same. And I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's hard to be nice. You know what I mean? And and like you go a long way. So, and I thank everyone for the kind words, because sometimes it is hard. Well, it's not sometimes. It is hard, and you know what I mean. And I feel for the people that are in these places. But thanks for the comments.
Pleasure to give you to you. Just finally, let's start on a positive, finish on a positive
Yes.
note. I was just going to ask you about the art of finishing, because as you know, Charlie Austin's got his 50th goal for Swindon at the weekend. Is it a split second thing? You're in front of goal, you make your mind up in a split second, or is it instinctive? How does it work?
Do you know what I think? It's a bit of both. I think personally, I'm not saying you're born with it, but you know what I mean. Like say you get Charlie there, you don't give Charlie 2 times a day. You know what I mean? Very rarely. And like and I think it's one of them that like I think I read an article about him today, when I'm sure you might back me up if it. Then he said that he just loves scoring goals. Something like, you know what I mean? There's no better feeling.
No.
Scoring goals. Right. And my boys will tell you on a Monday night, right? If I'm playing on Monday night at 5-a-side and I ain't scoring, I ain't happy. I'm simply not happy. I might set a few up, but I'm not happy. If I'm not making someone and trying to score goals, and I'm not a happy bunny. And for me, you got to have that hunger to want to just keep scoring. And this is like, if you're missing them, not a problem. Just be there to miss them. And like I say, it is an instinct. And but like I think like these real natural goal scorers, you know, I mean, I think you're born with it. And like I say, I think the most important thing is, like I say, when I read that today about Charlie, when he went, I just love scoring goals, and I'm like that. And I'm like say 53 years old on a Monday night, or if I'm playing a charity game, like I can remember playing. So I can tell you about goals. You know, I see in the car park when I pick. So when I scored 2 goals and I scored a little chip and whatever it was at half time in that charity game with Paul Callis, and fair play for giving me the call up to come and play. I can remember going in now at half time. Mate, I was buzzing. I was buzzing because all I knew was I scored 2 great goals here. And as I obviously with Lee Barnard as well, Barney, fair play to Barney, he went, what did you do when you was here? He said, you'd have had many more games. And I was like, but you know what? I was just buzzing, and I could just remember meeting the wife in the bar afterwards, and she just gave me a little tap on the knee. That's when I know I've done well. But it all boils down to me scoring goals, and if I play well and I've done all right, it's okay. But you got to have that in here to go, you know what, I want to score goals. And if you've got it in here like Charlie has, and like all these main goal scorers, you know what I mean? It's, for me, like I say, it is the best feeling in the world. I'll hold my hand up. You can't get no better.
Brilliant. Clive Thompson says, well done, Oggy, great man and player. Terry says, what about your time playing for the Greyhound? Well, I was talking to somebody about that on Saturday. We're going to let you go in a minute, because otherwise we'll be here all night, because it would be great to talk to you all night. But, I mean, you played for Greyhound, obviously, the great Swindon Sunday League team, weren't they? And, you know, things like that.
Yeah, unbelievable team. Like you say, you go back from my youth team days at Swindon. You have me, obviously, Nice Packer, obviously, Ryan Morgan, obviously, like Morgan's was there. Nicky Hughes, Nice Packer, and like I say, you more or less left, not Swindon, but you left Swindon, and then you go and play for the Dog, because the standard of players there was just as good, if not better, than some Southern League teams. And Dave Hawkes, the gaffer there, was like, he brought in some great players in. But like I say, great times, and we go back to the ground afterwards. And but yeah, it was a special club. Obviously, no longer is with us now. But then again, Sunday football's not like it used to be no more.
No, it's not. No. Even those of us who played at the very lowest levels of Sunday football, you know, it was still a game on a Sunday morning. And sadly, I was surprised to find out there are only 2 divisions now. Yeah,
and there is. But then again, I think I don't think you're about the coaching as well, Vic. I don't think football means as much. I'm not saying to the fans, but just there's so much more out there now, mate. You know what I mean? With the phones and everything else, there's so much more for these up and coming kids to do. And like I say, in my day, all I had, sorry, my dog's moaning outside. All I had was like I say, a football. I had just a football, and me and Quinny, we just go outside, and it was safe as well. Go outside anyone's house, and even if you kicked it against their fence or their wall, or their window, there was no argument because that's what we did. So, but yeah, which is sad that the old Sunday football's gone, but it was great while I played it.
Mark Jeffrey says, Vic, need to get Oggy back again in the future. And I was just thinking, actually, what would be nice to get you and AD Vivash and possibly Pete Lango on together? That'd be a real hoot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, like you say, it's amazing. I can remember meeting some lady in the car park and like, so I was really nervous. But once you get into it, like you want to obviously express more. You want to go over a lot more because there is so much more. And not just me, but obviously with Vivash and with Shaggy as well. And it just goes too quick, Vic. And like I say, it's like, but yeah. And I'd love to come back on again, mate. And like, I'd just like to say thank you and obviously for the lovely comments because. I mean, for me to do this is like I didn't want to do it because I'm a little bit nervous, but I thank everyone for lovely comments, and I would love to go back on, obviously with the big man Vivash and with Pete Lango, and might be able to pull a few more in, might be able to get Fitzy in, and you never know, we might get Big Nose come over from Qatar, Buzzer, somebody.
Oh well, that'd be fabulous. Yeah, if you could, that'd be fantastic. And thank you, Oggy. It's been great talking to you again, and as I said. Many years ago, as an idiot reporter, you were always very happy to and talk to us and all that kind of stuff. So it's great to see you again.
My pleasure, Vic, mate. Like I say, you was always a pleasure as well, mate. And like I say, some of your commentaries, mate, were brilliant, mate. Yeah,
thank you very much, Chris. Good. Well, what can you say? We could be on for another hour and a half if you want.
I was going to say that. I'm just so pleased I accosted you in that car park.
I am honestly. I am as well now. So like I'm so pleased. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well done.
Another comment which says outstanding, Oggy. Thank you. There we are.
Thank you very much.
But it's been wonderful. I'm sat here thinking because the names that you've been bringing up are who I used to know as well. So it's brought back a lot of memories, especially Route 66. But we won't go there. But yeah.
Well, my God, I'm quite surprised, Vic. You haven't bought Route 66.
Well, there were one or two comments about Route 66, and I was thinking, where are we going to go? One of them was about Husey on the top of the car.
Oh, wow. You know what? And that's what. So, but you know what, Vic? They were, and it's part of like, that's what I like when you're a homegrown, I don't say talent, homegrown kid like I was, coming from like a council estate like I did, which I love, by the way, Park South, and to, like I say, knowing everyone and just to be part of it and share your story with, it was brilliant. And some of them little comments, it make me giggle. So I get my own back when I see them, Vic.
Excellent. And I've got one here from Derek Elston. Now, Derek, let me give you this, right? Was having an operation on Thursday and then still went to Salford on Saturday. This is a dedication of some of these people, right? Incredible. And Derek hasn't missed a game, I think, since 1981. But he says Oggy was always such a character during his playing days, and it's been great. So, Derek, thank you. See you tomorrow night. I hope you're all right.
All the best, Derek. Thank you.
Yeah, there we are.
Amazing.
I mean, we could go on, Chris. If you want to go on till 10 o'clock, it's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we just keep on? No, but as I said,
I'd be like, I get one of my favourite little tipples, Moretti, and then I could do it all night long. And but I thank you guys. I mean, like I say, for me, it's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege. It really has been a privilege. Thank you.
Fantastic. And it won't be the first time. It won't be the only time. We'll get you back on. So
all right, one more, because I've just got another one from Glenn Morman. I played against Oggy when he played for the Greyhound in a cup match. We were in Division 7. We were winning 1-0 at half-time. We lost 11-1.
You know, that sort of thing's happened on a Sunday. Do you know, I'll tell you why, Vic. You got to remember, like, talk about Route 66. So you got to remember, like, our manager, right? Here you go, right, lads. You've got 15 minutes to sober yourself up. And then, so what will happen is, like, we all get sober. And then, so obviously, then we won in at half time. We must have just like, okay, boys, let's do something here now. And it was a special team. I really, really like special team. But coming from Route 66 straight out onto the Sunday football playing, and then back in the boozer afterwards. But that's non-league football.
Lovely. I'll tell you what you normally do, Chris, isn't it? We forward all these comments on, don't we? So that's what we'll do. We'll send them all to you.
Yeah, I'll send them all to you. I'll put them into a document and send them. But thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon, I'm sure. So
no problem.
So thanks very much for everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you,
all Oggy's friends and
family.
family.
Comment. Yeah. Thank you. And
Yeah.
all the best Swindon tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Gillingham tomorrow night,
Thank
7:45 kickoff. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Don't go anywhere though, Paul. We're back with you in a minute. So we will see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a good week. And as Rick said, we will see you tomorrow at home at Gillingham or on Saturday at Milton Keynes. Good night.
Coop. Come on, Coop.